Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of All the Queen's Men, Season 4, Episode 2, Careless Whispers. And the synopsis for this episode reads, Dime gets way too close to Big D for comfort. I'd have to agree with that. Madam gets some surprising news as she exacts revenge on Santiago. She sure does. And Babyface is asked to do the impossible for Miss Tandy. Ooh, honey. Anyway, before we get started, if you're new here or if you're returning here and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment and join the conversation, and then share because sharing is caring. So anyway, this episode starts off with Madam and Blue and Tommy showing up on Santiago's property. Now, he's supposed to be this big old ruthless person that concierge told her about. He's dangerous. He's this. He got all these men and all these people. Where the heck were all these men and people? Because I sure didn't see them. Okay, so she gets in there, sees him. Her father's head is wrapped up because he done cut her father's eye out, and that was so disgusting. And anyway, so he's calling her Igor in Spanish and saying all these things, and long story short, she snuck up on him with the sneak attack. They did some kind of silent or scentless gas attack because all of a sudden one of his men fell down behind him, and then he's like, "What did you doing? What are you doing?" And he fell, he fell, and they put on gas masks, and Madame rescued her father. And I am so happy about that, thank God. So now we have a scene with Miss Tandy. She coming in her house with her adrenaline running, and she's all nervous and stuff because she just went out there shooting at DA rods, and she's sitting on the couch trying to get it together, and her phone ring, and she answers it, and it's DA rods talking about somebody just tried to kill me, and she's telling her, "I know it was Madam, and when you become mayor, you're gonna have to help me take her down." And she's trying to say, "Oh, well, how do you know it was Madam? Maybe it wasn't her." She said, "I don't see Madam as a killer." She said, "I do, and you're gonna help me, and I hope you're not on Madam's side and getting on the side because at some point, everybody who's on Madam's side is gonna go down." And Tandy said, "Okay," and DA Rods hung up. So now we have Fuego's apartment, and his ex's father shows up, the woman Sandra. He shows up, of course, unannounced, harassing Fuego again, asking him for help and stuff. But I'm sitting there going, what are they expecting Fuego to do? I'm sorry, they call him Alonzo. So what are they expecting Alonzo to do? Also, didn't Sandra's mother threaten to report Alonzo to the police or something like that in a previous season? Somebody put it down in the comment section if y'all remember that happening. So Fuego, being the nice guy he is, said he'll do the best he can to try to help them. He already knows what happened, and he did love this woman. But you know what? He can't say nothing because Madam and them did all of that mess. So now we have Smoke showing up at Club Eden with his long leather jacket on and gold teeth, and he's stopped by security who's got a little attitude. He trying to be tough. So he frisks Smoke and finds some sort of weapon in his coat pocket and tells him he can't let him in with it, and I'll have it waiting for him at the front door when he leaves. So Smoke starts to walk away, and then he double backs and opens his jacket and says, "So you didn't see my PSF gun?" And then he opens his jacket on the other side, "Or my stun gun?" And then he pulls something out of his jacket and said, "All my zip ties." I said, "Oh, snap." And that security guard was looking like a fool. And so he started walking in, and the security put his hand on him and stopped him and said, "I can't let you in there with that." And Smoke took him and headbutted his behind and broke homeboy's nose, had him bleeding and stuff like that. Tell him, "Pinch it back now, pinch it." And you call yourself security? So then all of a sudden, Dime walks up and say, "Oh, can I help you?" And he says, "And you are?" And she says, "Dime." And he said, "You sure are." And so he tells her that Tommy said they might have some work there for him. And she's like, "Tommy's not here." Meanwhile, her security is holding his nose bleeding. She ain't saying what's going on. Is everything okay? And, Smoke said, "Well, please just tell him that I stopped by." And then he just left. Now we have a quick scene back in Mexico where Madam has Santiago tied to a chair and she got this weapon and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, please, I'm not scared. I've been stabbed before." She said, "I promise you, you never feel anything like you're going to feel now." And he's like, whatever. And then it switches back to Club Eden. I don't know why they put that little scene in there like that, but they did. And here's Dime rubbing her sore feet when Big D shows up several hours early to Eden with a gift for Dime. And it's a foot warmer because the night before when they were eating together in that little eatery or diner or whatever, she said how her feet be hurting at the end of the day. So he thought that would be a nice gesture to do. So he starts pouring on that southern charm, you know how he does. And he's saying to her how she has some pretty feet. And she's like, how do you know that? And he said, I pay attention to everything about you. So Dime was falling for all that he was throwing at her. So then she asked him, what does he do for fun or something like that? And he said, I could show you better than I could tell you. And he took her up on the stage and twirled her around and dipped her. And then she was close to him and he bent down and she reached up to kiss him. And then she initiated 2 more kisses after that. Next thing you know, they spread eagle on the doggone dance floor, that nasty eating dance floor. And he pulled out the condom and showed it to her and put it on. And then he went inside of her, and the next thing you know, he got so excited, he go, oh shoot. And she's like, what? And he was like, he wasn't in there 30 seconds, the condom broke. She was pissed and caught an attitude because she was concerned about catching an STD or STI or whatever. And then she told him that she uses protection anyway because he was like, I ain't trying to have no kids. And she said, neither am I. But I don't understand why she would open up herself like this when she knows this whole love triangle thing between Amp, Big D, and her is causing problems for everybody in the club, especially when they were just fighting the night before. Come on, Dime, use your brain. So now we have a quick scene at Tandy's house, and Babyface hears her watching the news about D.A. Rod's getting shot, and he's like, turn it up, and she turns it off. He said, oh, we don't want to watch it. He said, I said, turn it up, and he turns it up, and they're saying what happened with D.A. Rod getting shot at. He said, your friend got shot at, and now you turning it off? And then he looks at her and said, please tell me you didn't have anything to do with that drive-by shooting. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was home all day. And she goes, now can we drop this? And he was like, okay, and she kisses him and walks away. Now at the precinct, we have Detective Davis and D.A. Rods talking about the shooting, and they both think Madam is responsible for it. Then Detective Davis tells Rods that the arrest warrant is in motion and that she has already talked to Judge Walters. They want Madam to feel the pain and make her sorry she ever messed with them. So now back in Mexico, Madam has Santiago hanging on a piece of wood like a tree stump, and it's going up through his back and coming out, and he must have been sliding down it and his blood is on it, and it's like seriously torturing him. And she didn't even care. And she tells him, because he said something about family, and she tells him, speaking of family, it was your son-in-law, concierge, who told me where she could find him. And he's like, my son-in-law is the person who delivered your father to me. And Madam said, what? And the next thing you know, Santiago was dead. So now back at the precinct, we see that Detective Davis has brought in a doctor for questioning, and she says she want to ask him some questions about a patient, and he's like, that's against the HIPAA laws. I can't. She's like, look, I don't want to know about them. She said, Marilyn DeVille, I want you to stop prescribing her pills. And she's like, what that got to do with you? So she tells him that she's into some bad stuff and she just want him to do that. And if he don't, she will scrutinize all of his patients and have his medical license revoked, and he'll never be able to work in the state again. She said, do you hear me? And he was like, okay. I was like, what kind of mess is this she's doing? All a doctor have to do is tell Marilyn to go to another doctor to prescribe the pills for him. Case solved. That's all I'm thinking. What do y'all think? Put it down in the comment section. So now this scene was surprising. D.A. Rod showing up at Tandy's house, and she's like, oh, I'm so nervous after somebody trying to shoot me and all this stuff. And so Tandy's like, you know what? You need a glass of wine. And she was like, usually I would wait till after 6, but you know what? The day I've been having, I'll take one now. And so Tandy goes, it's after 6 in Paris, so we could do that. So anyway, she goes and pretends she's going to go pour her a glass of Bordeaux, and she comes up behind her with a gun pointing at her back. But D.A. Rods didn't notice it because she had her back turned. And then Tandy just turned around and put it back and went and brought the bottle of wine, but never brought the glasses. She was like, she's so nervous that she can't even get it right what she's trying to do. And then they showed this quick scene. I don't even know why they showed it, with Midnight finishing up with one of his female customers, giving her a massage, and he made her come, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, I've never come like this before." And she wants another appointment for a massage, and he said he's booked up for the month, but she could come and check him out and eat. And so there must be a reason they showed that. I don't know if this woman is going to be somebody significant later. She said her name was Renee. So we'll see what happens. So now we at Eden, and Big D is trying to apologize to Dime. Dime is not interested. He's trying to say, "Let me make it up to you." All of this stuff he's just throwing at her. "Let's go line dancing. Let me take you out for dinner." She's like, "I'm good. I'm good." And then she finally goes, "Look, not to be mean or anything, but what happened between us should have never happened. Let's just keep it professional, okay?" And I'm sitting there laughing like, you done said that 50 times before, Dime, and your trifling behind is the only one who ain't keeping stuff professional. You shouldn't even be messing with strippers at the club, which is your place of business. So now we have Midnight coming into the locker room asking Doc, did he find that shirt? Doc tell him that Detective Davis has it. And he's like, "Well, you know you're going to have to let Madam know. And she's going to be pissed, especially if the police get it and find out." And I'm sitting there going, he just said Detective Davis have, so obviously the police have it. What part of that don't y'all get? Then we have Fuego come in, and Doc is like, "Yo, Fuego, you left early. You know, what's going on?" And Babyface and Amp came in behind him, and Fuego said, "I had to do something for Madam." And Face is like, "What?" And he's like, "None of your damn business." And it was like, ooh, he's like, "Oh, so now you think you all that because you know how to keep your mouth shut." He's like, "Whatever." So then Amp asks to speak with Big D, and he's talking to Big D, and he apologizes to him. And then Big D is getting on, yeah, because we all brothers. He got a whole speech going on. He said, "Look, nigga, I don't mess with your goofy behind." He said, "I'm just apologizing because my sponsor told me to." And he walks out telling them, I tried. And they just shaking their head at him. And Big D goes, "He just mad because his girl chose me." And Doc told him, "Yo, dude, don't do that. Don't do that mess up in here." See, that's how stuff gets started. And Big D don't know how to shut up. He just keep on with the stuff going. And then Doc said, "Thinking of females, I haven't seen Trouble lately." And Midnight said, "I don't think of Trouble when you say females." I was laughing. But they were like, "She been missing for a while." They were like, "Something's going on." And Doc said, "Whatever it is, it ain't got nothing to do with us." And I was like, that's how you stay out of trouble. So now we have Madam and Blue. They're back at Club Eden. Blue said, "Let me go out there and find out what's been going on since we've been gone." And Madam's like, "Cool." Next thing you know, here come Doc rushing in there. She's like, "Damn, like you don't knock?" So he's like, it was important. So he tells her about the t-shirt. And she was like, "So you didn't stop effing her when I told you to stop?" And he just wouldn't say nothing. She said, "We got to get it back." And he said, "Is there anything I could do to help?" And she said, "You done did enough." No. But she said, "We got to get back before they get the results." And he did tell her that she said she's not coming after him with the murder charge, at least not yet. But he didn't tell the important part, that she said she had bigger fish to fry, which means that's Madam. But he didn't tell that part. So she basically threw him out of her office. And the truth is, had Doc listened to Madam when she told him what to do the first time, this wouldn't be an issue right now. So now we have Blue going down into the basement to bring Trouble a sandwich and a bottle of water. And Trouble's like, "Can I get out of here now?" And Blue is telling her, "Not quite yet." She's like, "Did she send you here to kill me?" And she's like, "No." She says, "Madam gonna kill me?" She said, "I don't know what Madam gonna do with you." So Trouble's like, "Well, at least can I get out here and make some money for Madam?" She's like, "Look, shut your mouth, eat your sandwich, and don't piss on these floors." And I was like, oops. And Trouble shut up too. But we did learn that Trouble had been down there a couple of days. And I'm like, how's she been down that long? And she been missing. Nobody even know it till now. Oh, well, where's Champ? Anybody know? Put that down in the comment section. So now we have this quick scene with Dime, and she got 6 amateur dancers up on the stage. And so they have to dance for the ladies, and then they vote on who was their favorite. That person who wins will become the new amateur dancer, and I get dancer who's probably filling in for Champ because he's been missing. Anyway, the crowd goes off for this dancer with the white shorts on. His name is Quincy. But as she was going over to each separate dancer, having the crowd clap for their favorite, when she got to the 6th dancer, the clap was really low. And she was like, I'm sorry, but your junk just ain't packing. And she said, the ladies of Eden has spoken. Bye. And he got mad and had to leave the stage. And so Dime just welcomed Quincy and told him he was their new amateur dancer. And the crowd went off screaming and cheering, and he was smiling. So now we have Carla showing up to Madam's office, and she's sitting down, and she's like, what do you want? And she's like, I'm here to remind you that the Black Rock Boys are giving you 24 hours to handle those dancers. Is it going to be Champ or Trouble? So Madam says, since you wouldn't be running around playing messenger, she tell them that I'll handle them on my own time. And Carla's like, why do you act like you the boss of everybody? And Madam said, because I am. Now, can I help you with anything else? And Carla got up and left. So Madam calls Blue into her office and asks her to find out if Lola still works for APD. She may need an inside job done. So Blue says, cool. Then out there in the Eden dance area, we see Renee shows up to Eden. And Midnight is surprised to see her because they had just spent the afternoon together. So he takes her to this special place at Eden for those who have a VIP package. And she's smiling and following along with him. Next week, down in the basement, we see Tommy, Madam, and Blue, and they're with Trouble. And Madam questions Trouble about why she's resorting to petty robberies if she makes good money at Eden. And Trouble, yeah, I'm one of your top earners. And she said, it was Champ's idea. And she was like, I was stupid for going along with it. And Madam said, so you're saying Champ should pay for what y'all did? And she said, it was his idea. She said, okay, you can go. And Trouble was like, I could go. And she was sliding out, real slow. And she's like, she wasn't sure if Madam was going to do something behind her back, because you had Tommy there sharpening his long blade, just back and forth, making everybody nervous, because I know I was nervous myself. So now it's the end of the day. It's time for the guys to tip out. Big D is trying to talk to Dime, and Dime ain't trying to hear him. And he's like, I could wait for you and walk you to the car. She said, that's all right, I'm good. And he still kept trying. And here come Amp. Okay, nigga, she says she good. And he's like, okay, fine. Ooh, and so he left. Then Amp come over there, try to talk to Dime. And Dime is like, I didn't need your help. He said, I know, but you don't have to be strong all the time. Sometimes you could let somebody help you. I don't mind helping you. She's like, in that case, I need some dusting done. And he's like, oh, you got jokes. He said, here's the funny part. I'll be over there with a hoover and a dust mop in a minute to help you. She's like, I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, now we have Blue coming back, letting Madam know that Lola and Casanova both still work at APD. And then she's asking Madam what's she going to do with Trouble and Champ. And she was like, Trouble has been a pain in my ass from day one. But then they realized that she also makes good money as much as the VIPs. So Tommy offers to take out whichever one that Madam wants to get rid of. And she's like, thanks for stepping up as always. But she says she's going to handle things differently. And she's going to let Trouble and Champ handle their own fates. She basically want to see what both of them are made of. So now we have Dime leaving Eden, and some guys behind her yelling, hey, let me holler at you. And she's like, leave me alone. I have to go home. She wouldn't even turn around and talk to them. And so the guy grabs her and said, you're going to talk to me. And he said, what you did in there at Eden, trying to laugh at my ding dong, wasn't cool at all. Like you ain't never seen one before. And she said, I work at a male strip club, dumbass. He said, what the F you call me, you black ass hoe? And she said, excuse me. And he was grabbing on her. And Amp came out of nowhere, punched homeboy in the face and knocked him out. And Dime was shooken up like crazy. So Amp told her that he had just been hanging out just to make sure she got to her car safe. So he was glad he did that. And she said, okay, thank you. Good night, Amp. So next we have Miss Tandy asking Face to kill D.A. Rod for her. And he said, I knew you had something to do with that. And she said, I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to do. I tried 2 times. He said 2 times. And she was like, yeah, but I don't know what Madam's going to do. I need help. And he was like, look, I ain't trying to get involved in none of that. He said, this is supposed to be pay for sex. He said, this is worse than a damn relationship right now. He was pissed. Then he said he'll see what he could do. He'll talk to Madam for her. And she's like, thank you, trying to seem like a helpless little lady. So Faith got up and walked away, and she said, that was easy, as she's smiling. And so the episode ends with Tommy massaging Madam's feet in her house, and she asks him to contact Smoke. She said maybe it's time to introduce him to the concierge. And Tommy's like, oh, ish, releasing a crazy igga on a pretty igga. All right. And I thought that was so funny. Tommy be cracking me up sometimes. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Put it down in the comment section. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.